Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. So today we get a important message in the mail. All right. Well, it's labeled as I don't remember exactly what it was labeled as, but it was an envelope. It was kind of obscure, and it said important information enclosed. Right. And I think it was from like Walgreens. And so I'm like, oh, hopefully this isn't anything bad or something like that. And so I open it up, and you know what it was? Do you have any guesses? Tell me your guess before I reveal. I'll give you a second. It was a application for a credit card. You know what? I don't think that's important information. what, what do you folks think? Do you think a credit card application is important information to be like, open this up, there's important information? It's like, really? Really? So is Walgreens the jerk here for sending me junk mail as under the pretense that's important information? I want to know what you folks have to say about that. So let's get started. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for How I Reacted After I Found Out My Husband Ran a Secret Background Check on Me Before We Got Married? We've been married for 3 years, and I only just found out recently that before we got married, my husband ran a background check on me and my family. I found out because we were on vacation with his family and were doing things that I had no interest in participating in a few times, so I stayed behind. He let me borrow his laptop because I left mine at home. I made a folder with my name and was searching for it when I found another folder with my name. This folder was full of reports on me, my family, including my extended family, and two of my childhood friends. I read as much of the reports as I could before my husband and his family came home for the day. At first, I was just hurt he would do something like this without talking to me first, but as I read more, I started finding out things about my family and friends that I never even knew. I started to get angry. It's hard to put in words, but I felt like I had gone all cold over, but also like it wasn't me reading these things. So, when I saw my husband, I exploded on him in front of his family. At first, he tried to say it wasn't a big deal, and his cousin chimed in to say that it was normal, and he wasn't the only one who had done it in their family. When he saw I wasn't calming down, he tried to get me to go into our room so we could talk about it privately, but I told him I wasn't going to go anywhere with him, and I was leaving. My husband told me to stay and he would sleep somewhere else, or he would leave, but we were staying in a house owned by his parents, and it felt weird for me to stay and make him leave, especially since his family were still there too. I ended up staying at a hotel for the night, and we both flew home shortly after cutting the vacation short. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk in this situation?
Not the jerk.
OP wasn't snooping. They didn't come across this information on purpose, but not that that would have made it any less like ungood, not good. I don't know. This is in poor form, I would think, for OP's husband to have done this without consulting them first. I think it's reasonable to want to do a background check on an individual before marriage. I think that that would be something that some people may find helpful, and I because there are people who lead double lives and secret lives and things like that. So it doesn't hurt, I don't think. I think that it's going to be a sensitive subject for someone, but I don't think it's necessarily a a question that's completely out of line. I mean, let's like asking for a prenup, right? You ask someone for a prenup, it's kind of like, well, I trust you right now, but maybe things in the future will go badly and I won't trust you anymore. So I think it's a hard situation. I think that he's in the wrong for not consulting her first and asking her first to run a background check, because she probably would have been fine with it to some degree. Maybe not. Maybe that would have been a deal breaker. So I don't think that OP is acting unreasonable here, but I do think that OP's husband should have consulted them first before running a background check. But I'd be curious what you folks have to say. So, yeah, let me know in the comments below. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. What the utter F? I read more and started finding out things about my family and friends that I never even knew. What the F? I feel like people voting the jerk are massively looking over the blatant betrayal and violation. I do think it was a violation and a betrayal. I'm going to go with not the jerk just based on how extensive this search seemed to be. I don't think it's super unusual to do a background check on someone, but the fact that it's your family, your extended family, and friends leads me to believe that this is some U-level stalky BS, and I'd freak out too. The depth of it does actually concern me too. I'm not saying that this was like a normal background check. It does seem to be a little more extensive. LOL, so funny, but true. Joe would be proud. If the family was like politicians and extremely wealthy type people, it maybe seemed normal or whatever, but without context, I agree, not the jerk. That's another thing that I was thinking, is that potentially these people are loaded and have money, and maybe they're worried about imposters or any number of things. It could just be that, they live in a completely different universe than most people, and in this respect, that it's like, well, we need to check everyone and all your close circle of friends because they could be planning a kidnapping in the disguise of marrying someone, I mean, it's a really odd situation, especially with the depth of the information there. So, yeah. Weird that he didn't delete it, though. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not calling out my son for treating my daughter badly? I have 2 kids, a son Ben, 44, and a daughter Emma, 42. Their father and I divorced when they were very young. He wasn't a good husband, but he isn't a bad man. He is wealthy. He didn't bond with Emma, and he favored Ben. It became overt as they grew up. Ben was easier than Emma and did well in school and sports. Emma, although smart, wasn't interested in school and was rebellious as a teenager. Their father spoiled Ben, and if I'm honest, he wasn't nice to Emma. This upset her, and she would cry, feeling unfairly treated. I felt bad and I couldn't do anything about it, so I felt it was better to pretend it wasn't happening and hope it got better. That's that is the fail-safe solution to a problem. Nothing could possibly go wrong at all there. It didn't. He wanted nothing to do with her, although there wasn't a reason why. Emma struggled to cope with this, and I think expected me to stand up for her. Imagine that. Imagine a child expecting their parent to stand up for them. Finger waggle. OP. But I hate confrontation, and her father never listens to me anyways. I preferred not to discuss it with Emma and focus on other things, but she said I didn't allow her to be upset and didn't validate her. I didn't want to potentially cause a bigger rift and to cause Ben to side with his father. Ben, on the other hand, was lavished with anything he wanted. Money, cars, he was expected to be successful like his father. As adults, the relationship between Ben and Emma fizzled out, which was sad, but I couldn't do anything about it. Despite being given large amounts of wealth and more opportunities than most, Ben hasn't become successful, and he's quite resentful about it. His father stopped giving him money a few years ago, and he partially blames me because I told his father that he had given him too much. Despite being an easy child, Ben has grown up to be rather difficult. He has a temper and is very sensitive about his lack of career success, so we aren't allowed to talk about it. Emma is a stay-at-home mom. She's a good mom, and her children's father earns a lot of money. Her father was regretful, so he reconnected with her. They have a relationship, and it's quite superficial, but I think it's healed the wound a little bit for Emma, so she's reached out to Ben. They got along well for a couple of years, but Ben stopped speaking to Emma. Emma got upset and thinks it's because Ben doesn't like their father's interest in her. Ben hasn't given her an explanation, but he told me a silly reason that doesn't make any sense. I told Emma that I think Ben has behaved very badly. She asked me if I told him that. I said no, and she shouted at me that I have never stuck up for her or protected her, and if I can't do it this one time, she doesn't want a relationship with me. That I enable this bad behavior at her expense, and she's sick and tired of it. The thing is that Emma has 3 kids and Ben has 1. Emma will still allow me to have a good relationship with her kids, but Ben has made it difficult for me to see his kids in the past when he's angry, so I'm afraid he will do it again and stop speaking to me. I also don't want to be forced into the middle of it, so I won't do it. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Giant jerk.
I think OP is very much in the wrong in this situation. They've let this continue to propagate for years. Like, she's like, oh, well, their dad wouldn't listen to me. What about Ben? Did you ever tell Ben that he can't be mean to his sister? What about getting custody? Did you ever try to get custody of your daughter? You know, situations like this are really unfortunate because you could have stepped in. You could have said something. And even if it didn't make a difference, even if he continued to be mean because there was nothing you could do about it, you would at least have made a difference to Emma, I think, in this situation. I think that she would have appreciated you at least trying to do something, but you didn't do anything. You just sat there with your head in the sand, pretending like nothing was wrong, and now you expect Emma to be perfectly fine with that, and I think that's unfortunate. I don't know whether or not the father's apologized and has said anything to Ben, but it sounds like he may have, and maybe has tried to, like, turn back from his old ways, potentially. If not, then I think that both of you owe her an apology for letting Ben stomp around all over her. So, yeah. Anyhow, take care and good luck. You're the jerk and so weak. I feel for Emma. Absolutely spineless. I'm only surprised that Emma lasted so long before snapping. I would have been yelling at least a decade sooner. Kudos to Emma for her heroic patience. You're the jerk, OP, and I think you knew that already. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for getting a cashier in trouble because he didn't believe in February 29th? Today, after leaving work, I needed to pick up some wine, so I made a stop at a local grocery store to get 2 bottles that I needed and some cleaning supplies, bleach and cat sand. I have a permanent baby face, so I'm always ready to give the ID. Usually there isn't a problem, the cashier just hands it back and I go on my merry way. I get to the register, it's morning and it's empty. I put my things when the cashier, Kevin, gives me a side eye, and the following conversation ensues. Aren't you too young to be buying wine? Me, I get that a lot. I'm 21. I hand my ID over to Kevin. Good try, but this is fake. Excuse me? It's fake ID. You're not gonna fool me. And I bet the bleach is for you to get high on. Why would you think it's fake? And how am I going to get high with bleach? Because February just has 28 days, and this says February 29th. I'm not stupid. What? Now get out of here before I call the security guard. Excuse me, but February has 29 days every 4 years, and I need my ID back. No, I'm destroying this. Now get out. Note that I have bad anxiety and confrontation makes me retreat, so I was completely ready to just go to another grocery store. Kevin gets out of his till and goes to find something to the staff room. Excuse me, but I need my ID back. I'm raising my voice at this point and following him. No, I'm gonna cut it up. Now go away. This is staff only. The grocery store is still pretty empty, and he was the only cashier in the shift, pretty common where I live. So I start to shut down when a woman in a different uniform that was there raised her voice from the other door to the staff room. What's happening in there? Kevin, what are you doing? This kid is trying to buy alcohol and trying to get high with this fake ID. It's not fake. Please give me it back. Give me some scissors so I can snap it. Kevin, 29 February is real. It's a leap year. No, leap years are a myth from Greece before the church took over. They aren't real. The woman takes the ID from Kevin's hand and hands it back to me, who is almost in tears. I'm really sorry. I will have a stern talk with Kevin. Let me check you out. I just nod and I follow her back to shopping. She gives me my groceries and I pay for them. Could you come back with me and sign a paper stating what Kevin has done? Sure. For what? Because no one believes me when he does these kinds of things, and now I need a paper so I can get him reported. I just went and signed a statement. I still don't understand why she needed one. I told what happened to my roommate, and he said that I shouldn't have signed anything because now Kevin's gonna get fired for a very minor thing. I don't know if that's minor. And that woman was probably just mad at him for something else and wanted to use this to get him out of the store, and that it's my fault for having such a confusing birthday. What? Yeah, it's totally your fault. Choose a different day to get born on, OP. Why would you choose 29th? I don't know, Reddit. I'm just tired. Am I the jerk? Update. First off, thank you for the comments. You're all very nice. And to anyone who doesn't believe me, it's fair. It's very outlandish, and I left some stuff out. Also, my English isn't good at all. My partner came to see me after a shift, and we ended up talking about it. He chewed up my roommate for saying that to me, and now I'm staying with him for a bit until my anxiety gets better. In the discussion, my boyfriend found out that Kevin is actually a friend of my roommate's, or at least they knew each other, and that's why he, the roommate, was upset at me. I've seen people confused about who was crying. It was me. I have severe anxiety and issues with PTSD due to past trauma. I don't really want to elaborate. I know that I don't have a spine and I'm working on it, but it isn't easy. So I don't know if any of the comments updates are really all that worth it. So they just kind of expand on information here. So what do you folks think? Is OP a jerk for being born on the wrong birthday, on the wrong day?
Not the jerk.
Oh my goodness. I just thought this one was kind of fun. Amber was telling me about it. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like it's going to be interesting. Imagine like being like, you can't fool me. I'm smarter than that. I know February doesn't have 29 days. It's like, how did you make it through school without ever once encountering a 29th of February? I mean, I know this sounds like absurd, but there similar things I've heard of similar things happening with like $2 bills where someone will get upset at someone trying to pay with a $2 bill thinking that it's like a fake bill. And I just kind of attribute it to that kind of level here. I mean, I think it is a little outlandish, maybe a little hard to believe, but I could see someone doing that, honestly. So, I don't know. Let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Agreed, not the jerk and definitely not minor. Stealing someone's ID and trying to cut it up is not okay. This moron isn't the ID police. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all on Monday.